Today, let's examine the curious case of Maryland's favorite milk dud in a suit, Governor Wes Moore. Now, Wes wants you to know, and I mean know, that he's not running for president of the United States. Nope, not at all. He just happens to be spreading through the early primary stage with a megaphone in one hand and a selfie stick in the other. Normal governor stuff, don't you think? So let's rewind to 30 May, South Carolina. Wes Moore is working the Blue Palmetto dinner like he's auditioning for the Democratic Hopeful musical. He's got the grin and the Clyburn t-shirt and a speech about urgency that was so intense you could have woke the dead. South Carolina, Georgia, New Jersey, Virginia. I mean, if he shows up at the Iowa State Fair flipping corn dogs next week, we're going to have a lie detector test on this guy. Wes says, I'm not running, but his calendar says debate prep starts at noon. He tells Democrats that they've got to stop studying problems and start doing something like bold and inspiring things. Slight problem, though. He just vetoed a reparations study back in Maryland. That's right, folks. While preaching action, he vetoed the one thing that he now says is holding us back. But wait, there's more. Wes says, and I quote, anybody talking about 2028 doesn't understand the problems of 2025. Really? The man is over at Representative Jim Clyburn's world-famous fish fry because nothing screams focus on Maryland like hush puppies and hot sauce 600 miles away from home. He's hugging on his wife on stage. He's quoting his grandfather and talking about passing the baton, like he's on the final leg of the Olympic relay. But no, don't worry, he's not running. He's just enthusiastic about fried fish in South Carolina. Meanwhile, back in Maryland, he vetoed a bill that would have just studied reparations. Not enacted, not funded, just studied. And remember, this is the only black governor in the entire country. Even South Carolina Representative John King said, thanks, but no thanks, and boycotted the dinner. He said Moore made things harder for black lawmakers everywhere. And Wes, when your party's own is talking about disinviting you, maybe it's time to ask Siri if you're in the right zip code. Now, let's talk about Moore's new Motivational Speaker Act. He says that Democrats should learn from Donald Trump. Really? He says that Democrats should learn impatience from Donald Trump. Yep, he's mimicking Trump. Moore said, if Trump can do bad fast, why can't we do good fast? Wes, governing isn't like a TikTok challenge. You don't get bonus points for speed if the bills are garbage and your state's credit rating is tanking. Speaking of which, let me give a shout out to former Maryland Governor Bob Early, who nailed it on Twitter when he said Maryland's hitting a trifecta of failure. Wall Street credit rating downgrade. We're the fifth most expensive state to live in, and Baltimore, plus 8 other counties, are now officially sanctuary cities, flipping off federal immigration enforcement. But don't worry, our governor is laser focused, just not on Maryland. Now look, I'll give old Wes some credit. He's got the George Clooney glow, he's got the military background, and he's got that hallmark family man package. Joy Behar wants him to run for president. Charlemagne the fake god says he's the 2028 forerunner. And hey, if you want to be America's next Obama, at least own it. Don't let us think that you're just touring the barbecue joint for fun while floating through every state inning in a primary. So, what's the moral of the story, friends? Wes Moore has got a big dream and a big grin and a travel itinerary that says presidential hopeful. He says we should focus on 2025, but the gleam in his eye That's pure 2028 ambition with a side of campaign coleslaw. Meanwhile, Marylanders are left with high cost, downgraded credit, and a sanctuary city status becoming state policy. So, unless urgency now means urgent road trips to swing states, I'd say Wes Moore is more interested in saving face than saving Maryland. Wes, maybe you ought to skip that next fish fry and try a budget meeting instead. If it walks like a candidate and talks like a candidate and quotes his grandfather on stage like a candidate, he's not visiting, he's auditioning. And Maryland is just a pit stop. Well, that's about it for now. I'm Bernie Flowers, one of Uncle Sam's wayward sons. Thanks for tuning in to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. If you like what you heard, click on the like, click on the subscribe button, and share this with your friends. Unless they're in South Carolina, of course. In that case, they're probably already taking selfies with Wes Moore and asking about his merchandise line. I'd love to hear your opinion, so if time permits, drop me a comment. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay free.